Ladies and gents, Sunstream01 back at you. We've got more Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut. It's time to do this. We're going to go ahead and get into here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the walkthrough so far. It's time to actually get into our first actual mission, and I'm very excited to do this. It's go time.
Jensen, it's me, Pritchard. Where are you?
On a roof overlooking the plant.
Good. Your point of entry should be through shipping and receiving.
Should be, Francis. The hell does that mean?
We have an employee entrance there, heavily guarded by purists, no doubt. So, if you're not a fan of the frontal assault, I suppose you could try accessing the building's roof.
Alright, so of course we are going to be as stealthy as possible. Going to show you some extra routes that you can take to remain stealthy. I'm not going to take out everybody, but we are going to get a few good points here, as well as just have a great, awesome time. So let's do this.
Getting too close to any guard is a risk. You're better off staying far away from them. Learn their patrols and time your moves accordingly. If you can avoid it, it's generally better not to engage them. Sure, a lone target may be tempting, but you never know. Backup might be right around the corner. If you have no other choice, try taking out your targets silently by moving up behind them and tapping the takedown button to put them to sleep. Killing them is a more permanent solution, but also involves making more noise. To do it, simply hold the takedown button. Whether you kill or stun, all takedowns burn up energy. If your energy bar is empty, you will not be able to use your augmentations. You can, however, replenish your energy cells through the consumption of nutrients. Regardless, don't leave bodies lying out in the open. If they are found, an alarm will be called in. So grab them and drag them out of the way.
Alright, so you heard the lady, let's do this.
Yeah, this map actually, it symbolizes the revival of Detroit in some way. In some ways, when we look back at Detroit in the 20th century, it was one of the big cities for the car industry and everything. And in this manufacturing plant, actually, it's an old car factory that has been repurposed for Serif Industries' needs and stuff. And for us, it was kind of using this kind of metaphor to say that reusing the old power of America of the 20th century and put it in the 21st century, but into the new field of technology that makes the city strong again. And as we were brainstorming for the different cities in the game, like Detroit, and we were wondering like why Detroit and why we would go.
I was one of those. I was
exactly.
like, why the hell would we go to Detroit? But then it ended up making a lot of sense.
It made a lot of sense because when you think about it in the history of America, it was like the Ford basically revolutionized the way that cars are made.
Probably
in
even
Detroit,
part of the
and by
economy
introducing
itself.
the new factories and the new technologies and stuff. So why not, when the industry fades, would someone else with a new technology come over and take it over and take over those old plants and basically recycle?
Yeah, we're actually saying that Serif did it on purpose,
Yes.
right? That he chose to refurbish, we say, right? Refurbish these factories as a symbolic move, right? It was purposeful on his part. I think it was a really good idea.
And last week I was we're in November as we were recording it. Last week I was reading in the
November
newspaper.
2012. Yeah.
Yes, a newspaper story about Detroit that was being revitalized. Yeah, revitalized through different new companies, and the downtown it's becoming more and more interesting. It has nothing to do with biotech corporations,
but
though,
it's still the
it's
same
coming
idea.
back. Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so we wanted to get that kind of out of the way. We can show you this next movie here.
Being stealthy hinges on sight and sound. Crouching down will assure you are making the least amount of noise possible. Line of sight is important, and by keeping behind cover, you'll stand a better chance that enemies won't detect you. Avoid jumping and sprinting, as it will certainly give away your position.
What the fuck is that?
Alright, so obviously we're not going that route, so what we're going to do is we're going to go this route. Really easy to get by these guys. Don't worry, they can't see you from this far away. And you can jump pretty good in this game. But easy way to get by guards. I will try to show you all the back hidden passages for this game, as I believe it's really going to help you out if you want to remain stealthy. And I do believe there is an achievement at the end of this, pacifist or whatever, for not taking out anyone. We're going to try to go for that. No guarantees. Again, I'm going to try my best to do whatever I can to make this as smooth as possible. I do like actually giving the commentary with you guys, as this is something extra for the game, and I think you want to get the most out of it. So I think I'm going to keep doing the commentary as I see them, and hopefully you guys will enjoy a little insight into the actual game. Now, going this way is going to give you a lot more points than, say, the other direction, and they're all still down there. You get to bypass a lot of enemies, although there's a lot of points that we don't get, but we get some extra points for taking a different route, so that's cool as well.
Richard, I'm in.
Nicely done, Jensen. May I ask how?
A vent on the roof. It'll be in my report next time we discuss security loopholes.
Oh, goody. I'll be sure to take notes. The Typhoon is in the factoring labs. There's an elevator just past the assembly labs that will take you to it.
Got it.
Now, there's actually a way that you could shimmy across these little areas here, and you can actually get over to that other side. But doing so, you're going to miss a little bit of stuff, so we're not going to do that just yet. We're actually going to go over there, but we're going to do it kind of a different way. Now, I also definitely recommend make sure you're always crouched as much as possible. And if I seem a little slow, it's because I'm still getting used to these ASD. You can go ahead and pick up everything because we're going to be able to sell it later, and that'll, of course, give us some more praxis points and all that kind of stuff. And that's what we actually need in order to upgrade and all that great stuff. So you can check emails. There's nothing really too important here. I'm not sure which button actually gets us into the menu. So let me press around here. I know it's sad that I don't know the button that takes us into the menu. Let me see if I can go to the options here. Again, like I said, in these first couple of videos, it's going to be just kind of flying by the seat of my pants here. But after that, let's see. Menu, map, P. Why is it all the way over there? Jeez. Augmentations, O. What? I can't believe it's all the way over there. That's crazy. In-game menu, tab. Okay, that should be able to work out, I believe. It's sad that I have to actually look that up. Alright, so here's our in-menu, whatever. It shows us all the emails and all that kind of stuff that we got going on. Really nothing too much. Finished quests and all that kind of stuff. And when we go back, we'll check out some more stuff when we get back to actually the headquarters. You got your inventory here. You can move things around via Resident Evil 4, kind of really cool. And we got some augmentations. We don't have anything available yet. We will be very soon, so don't worry about that. And I'm still unsure what I'm going to do. Now, here's what's really cool. This is our map, and I believe in the Wii U version, the map is just kind of on the gamepad screen, so definitely that's pretty cool. It takes up less real estate. You can see all the different directions that you can do and change levels and zoom in, zoom out, and all that awesome, amazing stuff. So, and last but not least, we have emails. Read the emails, because sometimes they can have passwords and things like that that can actually help you out with some of the stuff that you're doing. Now, I know I've been talking for quite a while, so we're going to keep going here. It would have been really cool if you could like flip through pages by clicking these things. That would have been pretty cool. And scroll up or down. As far as anything else, I don't believe there's anything else left here. Alright, so we're just going to get back down, and it's time to move out. As you can see, there's some guards in the area, so we're going to remain nice and slow. Alright. Now you can actually move how fast you actually move by hitting the caps lock. That'll actually slow your movement down. Nice little message there popping up. Let you know I'm on Steam. We're going to keep heading this way. As you can see, there's a lot of guards here you can bypass. Amazingly, you can bypass that guard right there. None's the wiser. Just kind of move this out of the way and keep heading this way. you can see, there's more guards up ahead when we get over to this room here. This is just another way. There's another area you can do that'll actually take you to a few more guards that you can take out, get a few extra points on the other side. But this way is definitely more stealthier. And of course, that's the meaning of this walkthrough right here. Nice and stealthy. I gotta figure out how. There we go. Take a little time. We got Traveler, so go ahead and head to the right here. Kind of drop in here with none the wiser. There's actually no one in this room. They're all outside, but they're all pretty much going to stay there, so... Let's open up these. You can find a few goodies. We're not going to grab everything. There's not really... You don't really need everything. I think there's something back here that we need that's really good. You can get some stun darts. Other than that, really, the only kind of stuff that's in these little things are just the small things, but since we're going for a more stealthier approach, a lot of this we actually don't need. Again, there's nobody over here, as you can clearly see, so you can kind of make your way freely. Don't worry about anything.
Jensen, I just tried to unlock the assembly lab door, but my override codes aren't working. Someone's changed the protocols.
What? Didn't you plug the...
I'm on it. But until I find this particular breach and fix it, you'll have to hack the door manually. Pritchard out.
When hacking, your goal is to take control of a device's registries, so you can access the security codes within. To do it, you must navigate the network, capturing nodes as you go along. You begin a hack from your point of entry in the system, the I/O port. To capture a node, simply place the cursor over it and hold the interaction button. A wheel will appear, showing you the programs that can be used against it. Traveling from node to node is accomplished using bridges. A bridge can be unidirectional or bidirectional, as shown by its arrows. Each time you capture a node, there is a chance the network will detect your presence. The higher a node's rating, the greater the likelihood that you will be detected. If detected, don't panic. You still have a chance, you just need to hurry. The network will try to trace your entry point and boot you out of the system. If you manage to capture the registries before the network trace reaches your I/O port, you'll be okay.
Alright, so I know that seems complicated, but it's actually pretty easy. Especially the beginning ones. Hacking is a good thing that you actually want to level up to, because you're going to be able to get a lot of extra points via hacking, and you'll be able to get into places you wouldn't normally be able to, and so that's always cool. Now, here's pretty much the screen. I believe you'll get extra points if you hack every single node that's on here before the timer's up, so definitely take advantage of that, at least for the beginning hacks, as they are pretty easy to grab. Now you can see there's direction buttons that go in certain ways, so as you can tell from here, obviously the first one's going to be here, and then to finish we would need to go to there. But if you go ahead and grab this one too, before the timer gets down, I believe you get extra points. I'm not 100% sure, but we're going to go ahead and try. But you can also fortify and, you know, do stuff like that with your base right there if you want to make sure, kind of give yourself less of a chance to be detected. So it's pretty much automatically going to be detected on this one. You just go ahead and do that one, and then you do this one. That way you get the full range of whatever you can get. I think that's what it is. Script Kitty. You get an extra 25 points. So that's pretty cool. If you're, you know, you're into getting the most out of this game, and that's exactly what I do. I always consider there to be two types of games that I do walkthroughs for. There are the games that I do blind walkthroughs for, and those are just your regular kind of first-person shooters or action kind of games. And then there's the games that I like to take my time. I like to look at it as if I'm playing a game, if I know I'm going to want to come back to the game, if I know if you're the viewer, right, and you're watching me play the game, right, and you're watching a blind walkthrough, it's because you want to watch it, and then you never probably want to see that game again. You don't care about it. But games like Splinter Cell, Metal Gear Solid, you watch it because I try to go through it as perfect as possible so that years later when you go back and say, hey, I've always wanted to be able to beat Assassin's Creed 4 100% sync. So that's the kind of game you're going to want to go back and watch. Deus Ex Human Revolution, this is the kind of game you're going to want to go back and watch because you're going to want to see if you can do it yourself. Again, you know, maybe you weren't able to do it before. Uh-oh, hopefully I can get back to it.
So this is a very interesting room. This is a room that that's very dear to me. It's one of the, you know, early stuff that we designed for the game. This goes back to probably fall.
2008. Yeah.
No, this is like fall 2007, I think.
Are you sure? Oh,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, I think so. I mean, it ended up being produced in
Yeah,
2008 for the game,
Yeah.
but I think if it's 2008, it's very early, like right after Christmas or something, right? And so we weren't really sure what we're going with the game at that point, or the locations, and all that kind of stuff. But we knew we had to do the tech demo, right? And this is what we did. And this room, obviously. And the concept art, the idea was it was a tech lab, it was a biotech lab. It's Thierry Doison, of his artist name, Baron Thierry, who did it. Superb concept art. And the idea on Deus Ex is that we wanted to make sure that the visual style was very consistent throughout the entire game, right?
Yeah.
It was really homogeneous. And a good way to do this is you make sure that the style that's on the concept art is the style that you want in the game, that there's no like dual standard, you know what I mean? And then what the production artists see on the concept art, they need to reproduce it, I wouldn't say as is, but they need to make sure that the style is the same.
It needs to stay faithful.
It needs to stay very faithful, you know. And what was interesting is that when that room was first designed, sometimes we'd see, you know, an artist working at his desk, and we'd see what we thought or what we think was a wallpaper of the concept art, you know, on his computer, and then suddenly that wallpaper will start moving.
It was actually the 3D.
It was actually the 3D room. We're like, holy shit, this looks 100% like the concept art almost. It was one of my first time in all of my in my entire career where I really saw this almost 1:1 ratio between concept art.
It was impressive.
It was very impressive.
And actually, it's the first part, the first press tour ever we did with journalists. That's the tech demo we showed.
That's the first thing we ever shown to the journalists, and they asked us, "What the hell is this engine?"
Pritchard, get word to Sarif. I found the hostages.
I'm relaying good news, I hope.
They're safe, and they're staying put. SWAT will have to exfil them as soon as I've got the prototype.
I'll tell Sarif, but don't take too long.
Alright, so sorry we had to skip a little bit, but, you know, I want to make sure you guys get a good gameplay and stuff, so I want to keep the game going. I don't want to have to stop just because of the commentary. So, you know, sometimes the commentary might be cut out, but at least you're going to get to learn a little bit about the game and whatnot.
Listen up. I need you all to stay calm, keep your voices down, and wait here for SWAT. The plant's not clear yet.
Not clear, but those terrorists, they've got my wife.
Your wife?
She's the manager here. Josie Thorpe. They said they needed her to open the administration building. They were looking for evidence of some kind. Please, I haven't seen her since. You have to find her.
Well, ladies and gents, it's Lambert. I'll do my best, but you need to stay here and wait for the police.
I'll do my best. But right now, I need you all to stay here and wait for the police. Can you do that?
Yes, of course. But please, hurry.
You said they were looking for evidence? What kind of evidence?
I don't know. They're purists. They think the body is sacred and shouldn't be tampered with. They probably want something that will implicate us in moral wrongdoings.
Did they know about the typhoon?
It's a top secret contract. How could they? And we only moved it in a few hours ago. Please, I don't think they expected anyone would be working today. And now that they're backed into a corner, you have to find my wife, please.
Alright, so we got our next mission up. Again, I can't stress this enough, make sure you guys save, because accidents happen, and this is the kind of game where, you know, you want to be as stealthy as possible. Even I make mistakes, so again, like I said, throughout these levels you might see some edits where, you know, I'm not going to show the actual mistake being made, as I want to show you exactly the route that you need to do in order to make it through the game. But these enemies can be very hard to maneuver around, especially in the give me Deus Ex difficulty. So where we're headed is right there. So as soon as I get down here, I'm actually going to go ahead and save. Just to kind of, I mean, it's pretty generous with the autosave. It usually autosaves every couple of minutes, but it's also good to remember to save yourself. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and save right here. See? Piece of cake. That's all it takes in order to save. It's pretty easy. Alright, so you can tell there's a guard looking in this direction, and he can see you from over there, so... So wait till obviously he's in a turned around position. You gotta be super fast because the way that the guards line up can suck sometimes. As you get one guard, as soon as he turns around, there's gonna be another coming around the corner. See, it's like clockwork. But once you figure out their patterns and stuff, then it gets easier. It'll take you a few tries when you do these missions, but hey. Alright, looks like we just made it.
After guards, security systems will be your prime area of concern, as they will trigger alarms that bring about heightened security. Trying to destroy these devices is a bad idea. Try instead to get around them. By timing your moves properly, you should be able to do so relatively easily. If an alarm does sound, guards will start looking for you. Fortunately, they won't sustain this level of alertness for long. Eventually, they will believe you fled the area, and the alarm level will drop.
Alright, so obviously as well, if you're not as stealthy, you're going to have a lot more problems with soldiers and whatnot. But we're going to be as stealthy as possible, so that doesn't mean too many soldiers will be coming our way. So as long as you're not in the direct sight of the camera, you should be fine. You can keep going. There's a couple of guards in the room in there, but there's no reason to mess with them. So we can just keep going. I usually like to stay crouched as much as possible. Do some more hacking here. Alright, so I like to kind of get a layout of the land to see what we got. So we can go this way or this way to get up there. But see, as you can see, it's going down, which means we can't go that way. So we can go this way, this way, this way, and that way. But, you know, we might have an alarm. We're going to try to get as many as we can. You can get two at the same time, so don't forget to use those methods if you need to. And there we go. Don't worry, they get a lot harder. As you can see, it's moving a lot slower too. And of course, we're trying to get the most points as possible. Alright, good so far. Oh, we got another one of these? Okay.
So now we are entering into the first SAS zone of this map.
The airlocks.
Yeah, the airlocks. Actually, it's something that we had to add later as we were producing the maps to help the streaming.
Yeah, it's. I think also at that point in the game, we weren't mastering our streaming capabilities as well as we were later on in the game. So basically, it's just your common thing that you see in a lot of games. While this door is locked, we're actually loading the entire room that's in the back, and they were big rooms. Those are the huge lab rooms with a lot of like stuff to do and a lot of stuff to interact with. But what's good about them, and this is how they should be done, is they're thematically kind of inserted. It fits. It's you're in a lab, and this thing looks like it's a place that's gonna, how would you say, Mary, decontaminate you? Is that it? Yeah, decontamination, sterilize you, and so like all the streams and whatnot. So I'm sure for maybe not for everybody, but for certain people, they didn't even realize what was going on. They were just like, oh, cool, I'm having this steam shower, and then the door opens.
Yeah, I just remember me fighting it the longer I could. I was resisting it because I hate those things in general because it's very artificial, and we all know that it's just we have to load the other portion of the map. Yeah. But like you said, it turned out.
Yeah, at least when they're well, thematically incorporated that way. you know, it works in a
Yeah.
it works in a good way.
I agree.
In order to unlock new abilities or augmentations, you must first gain experience in the form of XP points. You will receive these points when completing main objectives, side quests, or through special bonuses, like completing a mission without being
It'll be in my
detected.
report next time we discuss security loop.
Once you've accumulated enough XP points, you will receive a Praxis point. These points are used to unlock upgrades to existing augmentations, and to unlock entirely new augmentations. Praxis kits, which can be found through exploration or purchased in limb clinics, will also give you instant Praxis points. To unlock an augmentation or upgrade, simply select it in the augmentation screen, check the cost, and, if you have enough Praxis points, activate it.
Alright, so now we finally get into the meet and greet here. So we're going to do Praxis points here, which means we can actually level up. So let's take a look at it. So this is our level up system, the different areas of Jensen that you can actually level up. We only have one available point. Now this is very critical. This is how you choose which path you're going to take. So obviously you guys know I want to be more stealthy. So I'm going to do things like with the eye, maybe to become invisible, you know, different stuff like that. Maybe to be able to jump higher to get into places like back alleys and things that I can work my way around. That's the kind of angle that I want to go, but I'm still unsure exactly everything that I need to get. So I want to look at everything we have. You can take a look at what there is. You've got the stealth enhancer, hacking stealth, which is a good one. Fortify is a good one too. That'll give you a little bit more time for whenever you're hacking. Capture, you know, health. See, this is my thinking. Now, before you wanted to upgrade your health because the boss battles, you had to actually be able to survive them, and if you weren't upgrading your health because you were like, well, I'm going to be stealthy, I'm not going to fight any enemies, that was the wrong thing. But supposedly they've fixed this, so we're going to find out. Hopefully it won't suck too bad. And of course, having more batteries or having more energy so you can do more maneuvers whenever you're trying to be stealthy is great. We're not going to do any Typhoon stuff. We don't need it. Aim stabilizer, not so much. Armor, cloaking system, definitely. Landing system, probably. Let's find out what the retinal one is. So, for what we got, let's see. Concussion grenades. So right now we don't need that. Spend a little time in here and kind of look at these a little bit. Analyze people and persuade them. This is actually something pretty good if you're the kind of person that wants to persuade, but we're going to be okay, I think, at least for now, and we don't even have enough for it as of yet. So radar system, turrets, robots via an on-screen radar. This is definitely handy too. We're never going to need to track enemy combatants because I don't plan on ever being that kind of guy. Doubles the radar range of 50 meters. Targets also be displayed as soon as they are in range. Visually acquired them is no longer required, which is a good thing to have. But for right now, as far as our first one, we don't really need it just yet. Display stealth-related information such as codes of vision, last known location, allows mark, and track enemies. We don't have enough yet, but that is going to be definitely one that we're going to get. Hacking is always a good one. I see this is where it just gets all like, oh, I don't know what to do. Become invisible for a short period of time, warning people can still hear you move. We don't have enough for that just yet. What's the arms? Increase inventory spots or slots. Blast through weakened walls. Throw heavier objects. That's going to be a good one to have too. We're going to get a lot of them here really soon. Nothing that we can get here yet. So what do I want to do? We're going to go ahead and do that. I for one, want to have my hacking up very good, so a little bit of my thinking. Alright, so as you can see, this could be really tricky for some people. Oh, we got another one of these too.
Some of the obstacles that can be circumvented by hacking include turrets, cameras, and robots. All you need to do is find a security hub controlling these obstacles and hack it. Capture and fortify programs are your main hacking tools. You can upgrade their ratings via hacking augmentations. A node's rating affects the speed at which the network can process it. Therefore, higher rated nodes will slow the network down. You can slow it down further by fortifying nodes, which will increase their effective rating. You can also use a slow worm to stop the trace process entirely for a few seconds. Finally, to prevent detection when taking over nodes, you can use the nuke virus, which gives you a 0% detection chance. The nuke and stop programs are expendable viruses. Their supplies are limited, so use them wisely. A counter in the top right corner of the screen helps you keep track of them. When hacking, there are 3 types of nodes to capture. Directories are meaningless data holders. They serve no purpose other than to allow you to travel to your destination. APIs are system functions that can be used against the network. They can slow it down by spamming it, or they can lower node ratings to make them easier for you to capture. Data stores contain valuable information that can result in money, programs, or even experience points. Any reward you find on the system will only be yours if you succeed in hacking it. Otherwise, rewards cannot be downloaded and will remain on the system. Aside from cameras and doors, you will not be able to shut down any security device until you get the right augmentation upgrade.
Alright, so as you can see, we've got a commentary. So I'm going to let this commentary play, but I'm going to be doing something really cool. There's a turret up ahead that we need to get by. There's a room that we need to get into. We can't get into it unless we somehow figure out how to get around this turret. So I'm going to be doing that, show you how to do that while we listen to this. So enjoy.
So now we're facing one of the air vents of the game. Actually, the air
One of
vents...
the biggest...
cleanest air vents in the history of games.
Yeah, the air vents are definitely the cleanest air vents in the history of games. That's true. And also, this was probably one of the biggest challenges
with the lockers.
With the lockers of the entire game of Deus Ex Human Revolution. Like, you would think it would be like AI or hacking or how to make like a story as complex as the one that Mary pulled off or whatever, but no.
The air vents.
It was the air vents doors.
And they had to be perfect because they're all over the place.
All over the place. The thing is that when you design something like that, and there's a door that needs to open, and you want to make sure that, and especially the air vents, because we would hide them so much, like put crates in front of them or put all sorts of crap in front of them. The way that they open, you want to make sure that it's not going to obstruct these things or obstruct AI or whatever. But at the same time, wanting it to open in a fairly credible way, you know? So we had them that would kind of slide in a spaceship way, like on the side, like, you know, like, which was like, nah, you know, whatever. And eventually what happened is our lead, Philippe Desrosiers, our lead modeler, which is also has studied engineering and drafting, design, and all sorts of things like that. So he's really competent with mechanisms and figuring out how things work. And it might seem very simple when you look at it in the game, and it's like, yeah, this is what, you know, should have been done from the beginning, but it's not always that easy and that obvious. But he ended up thinking about just these hinges that are just kind of pushing the hatch forward and then bringing it upward, and it was that simple.
And that's the final solution. But when you look at how it was made in games before that, like it just opens in a very like kind of like a door, but a trap door.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we could have done that, but we had physical objects. You have the characters, and you always have to think.
AI.
Exactly. You always have to think about if the player's going to get stuck, if it's going to damage the experience and whatnot. And sometimes trivial things become really important.
Oh, looks like I didn't know if that was going to stop it or not, but I guess it does. The only reason we did is we got a pocket secretary that lets us know which password it is, windmill. I'm probably going to stop that commentary. Oh, okay, sweet.
And I remember when he made that thing, like how happy I was just for a freaking
We
hatch.
were all happy.
We were just like, oh my god, this is insane. It's like we almost like went out for a beer or something, you know.
All right, so as you can see, that's kind of how that works. Doors. You can disconnect the camera right there. And that's how you can get by that little camera right there. I mean, you can get by it easier, but pick up these little extra things, and there you go, ladies and gentlemen. What's going to follow here is pretty much just one more cutscene, and that's going to be the end of this part. Now, here's the funny part. This is what I was talking about. Now, what I just ran into, which was pretty funny, which was a concussion grenade. One was placed on the wall right there. I wanted to show you guys that you really got to be aware of your surroundings. That doesn't hurt us anyway because there's nobody around and then we're not detected or anything like that. But as you can see, the turret that we used, we were able to get by because we were a little bit smarter, and you pretty much know whether or not you're doing everything right. If you ever see in the bottom left of the screen where your map is, if you ever see it say alarmed, that means you've done something wrong and you might want to restart. If it says suspicious, you're still good as long as it doesn't say that. Is there another one here?
Here we're close to the turret, which is one of the robotic enemy that we have in the game.
It's the first time we see it in the game as well.
Yeah, I think
we
so.
see one that's broken before in
But
that
that's the
level, but
first
that's the
working
first
one,
real
yeah.
working one, yeah.
And one of the things we always said is we wanted to build a world that it's systemic, where all the systems can interact with each other in a very natural way. And one day, I remember, I was like taking the trash can and throwing it at the turret.
You didn't even know if it would work, I remember.
No, I
You
was
weren't sure.
trying,
Yeah.
and some people like you were like, "What are you trying?" I'm just trying to check if
He's
what we.
picking up the
What
trash
we
can,
do.
throwing it on it, pick it up again, throwing it on it.
And some people next to me, they were like, "Oh, you're losing your time. It's never going to blow."
And the
or
trash
whatever."
can probably does like 0.001 point of damage, you know?
And I
It's like,
continued doing it,
like 30 minutes.
and then boom, it exploded.
So now you know you can kill a
Yeah.
gun turret with a trash can.
Well, there you go. Alright, so here's our cutscene, and after this cutscene, we're going to end this video. Hopefully you're enjoying again. Please don't forget to like the video, comment, and if you haven't subscribed, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace out. Bitches!
Here, another cutscene where Jensen's going to interact with a potential enemy. And I remember having discussion with Jesse Sweet, our cinematic director, back in the day, because the constraint I gave him is that I didn't want Jensen in any cutscene with a gun, because we don't know what the player's going to have. And for me, it was really important that the cutscenes were keeping the character that you were building consistent with when we were going into those moments. So for him, it was a real challenge to still have Jensen look badass, and then but not using a gun. And that's why in this one we see with the hacker is that Jensen pulls out his blade from his arm. So it was a way to compensate for the lack of gun.